Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Craft Beer and Data. My name is Nick Piette, Chief Evangelist here at Talend.
I'm Mark Balkenende, Director of Technical Product Marketing here at Talend.
You know, so we were thinking, and we were talking before this, just how long it had been since the last episode. We really apologize. The last one you saw was probably us talking about healthcare at Devil's Canyon Brewery out in California. We've jumped across the pond. We're here in Paris, France, for this year's Talend Connect Paris.
That's right. And we're drinking some nice craft beer from Paris.
Yeah, it's really good actually.
It's very
nice
smooth.
Red ale.
I'll let you pronounce the brewery. La Pression.
Yeah, La Pression.
Pression.
Cool. All right, wait. A French person in the
We're
back.
getting thumbs up, so I think we got it right. So awesome.
Yeah.
So what are we up to today, Nick?
Right. So we had a lot of people come in and talk to us and ask questions around GDPR. Right.
GDPR.
All right. We'll talk about what that means. But while we come off as experts for many things, we're not experts in everything.
I almost have to call somebody and just tell me what that acronym stands for. That's a new acronym. I don't know exactly what it stands for.
In the alphabet soup of data integration, this is a new one. But because of this, we've decided to bring in an expert that can talk to us about this problem. So with that,
not Charlotte though.
Right?
Not just passed through.
Right. We'd like to bring in Jean-Michel. So
Jean-Michel Franco.
Yep.
Welcome to our
Hi guys.
video blog. What is this?
Yeah. So
Jean-Michel.
yeah.
This is a craft beer and data.
Yeah, I must tell you, you're in the worst country in the world for beers.
Well,
So
I didn't want to say that after, but
Wow.
No.
Since you called it out.
We don't know beers. We have a plan B.
Oh, plan B.
All right.
This is craft drinks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Original
So,
craft.
I know you would like to spell it, so it's Pessac Léognan. Can you try it? Pessac Léognan.
With Celtic Leon. No.
Try it?
No,
I tried.
Pessac Léognan. So Bordeaux.
My last name's
It's a Bordeaux?
Yeah.
I can say Bordeaux.
Well, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So let's be serious. We are very good.
So we have to
very
drink
good.
wine today?
Yeah.
Here, we'll finish these off.
Sorry.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Join you.
I won, but I'm pretty sure I had less than you, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Well, cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Welcome in
Craft
France, guys.
wine and data.
I guess we'll have to get a new hashtag for this one. So, Francois, we were curious, what does GDPR stand for? Because I heard at Talent you're one of the experts on GDPR and really how it's impacting everything in Europe, but also globally. What is exactly? Can you just tell us what GDPR even stands for? What's the acronym?
So GDPR is Global Data Protection Regulation.
Okay.
So it's about personal data. When I work at Talend as an employee, I have a lot of personal data about me. Or when I go to Talend website and I want to download a white paper, I give some personal data.
Right.
And so the goal of GDPR is to protect that, because we hear more and more kind of horror stories with personal data. You've probably heard of Equifax.
I've heard of them. Yeah, sure. My data was in there.
And so the goal of GDPR is to say that if I give you my data, you need to take care of it. You are accountable of what you do with my data. And so it's a regulation, and what is new, we had regulation in Europe on that topic, but to take a little example, in France, the fine, when you were breaking those rules, was 150k euros.
Right, which is just nothing.
Nothing.
Peanuts. For some companies.
So today, the fine is 4% of your global revenue.
That's
Wow.
occurrence, right?
4%.
Yeah, so imagine Equifax.
Yeah.
Equifax has, if 4% of the revenue of Equifax is 125 million euros.
Wow.
No, dollars, maybe dollars.
Dollars, maybe dollars.
Still,
So can you can you kind of give us for those in the U.S. maybe compare GDPR to like PII information? Is it more than PII or is it the same as PII information?
So the definition of the data is larger because it's everything that is related to your personal data. It can be a photograph,
right?
Because now we have face recognition,
right?
And so photograph is PII. So it gives a pretty broad view cookies, IP address.
So really
consider that.
anything related to me.
Yeah, and so this links to big data because in big data we have more and more IoT. It could be your car.
It could be, yeah. And,
So your car
and
can
IoT and data lakes what they told about that is these raw data. So there's probably even more raw data about the customers in the data lakes that are pertinent to GDPR today. Than
Essentially,
AI.
anything that is that could identify you as a person, any of that data.
Yeah, and we are in a world where we are always connected. You know, if I take me, probably Google knows where I'm moving on the web or with Android.
I'm pretty sure Google knows when I'm eating and what I'm eating and where I'm eating.
So
they know everything.
So
about
I wear a connected watch.
Oh yeah.
So it's more and more clever. It knows now my heartbeat. Maybe tomorrow.
You're sleeping, so don't waste your advertising dollars on John Michel because he's sleeping. So how does GDPR, how does GDPR going to impact those type of, that type of information in companies that are trying to take advantage of that information? How do you see GDPR impacting that?
So the first principle is that the company need to be accountable. So again, when you remember what happened to Equifax, most of you as American citizens didn't give the opt-in to Equifax. You might even not know that Equifax has data on your financial health.
Right.
Because maybe it was your bank that gave this data.
Because they just collect the data. So if I do want to become a customer at Equifax, that they have all the information already.
Yeah. So what GDPR says is that your bank, for example, is accountable of your personal data. So if your bank gives the data to Equifax, they are responsible if there is any leak or whatever happens to the. So very important principle, accountability. And there are a couple of other important principles. One is that you need to have the opt-in consent for the consumer. So if I'm okay that you send me email, okay, I need to say it, and I need to say it explicitly. The contract should be clear.
Right.
So that's opt-in consent, and you need also to give me a proof of consent.
Okay.
And there is also an important principle, which is the right of the data subject. So once the right of the data subject. So I'm a visitor to your website, you get data about me, I'm your data subject.
Right.
And then I have rights, and rights are, I want to know which data you have about me. I want to rectify because the data is wrong.
Right.
I have the right to be forgotten, so I want you to take me out.
That's the most interesting one to me. I often want to be forgotten. Maybe I shouldn't do a video blog here. But anyway, I like the right to be forgotten. That's one of my favorites.
Mark's personal problems. No. No, so very interesting that there's this huge, first of all, conglomerate of people wanting to solve this problem. If I'm an organization, how do I start even attempting to start looking at this? Is it necessarily, hey, I have this data and I need to find ways of creating essentially an anonymity between my users so that if somebody was able to get that data, they wouldn't be able to figure it out? Or what's the first step?
So the first step is to know where you are with respect to the different elements of the law. So first you need to have, I mentioned accountability, so you need to have someone who is accountable. And it's called a data protection officer.
All right.
So you need to nominate a data protection officer. It will be your kind of
data bodyguard. I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough role
Chief
to fill.
Data Protection Officer, so not 3 characters.
data
Or 4, I mean.
You get a badge with that, Mark?
That person should have a badge. Absolutely.
Okay, so you nominate this individual. It's identify the accountability. What's the next step?
The next step is to know the data.
Okay.
So let's take an example of HR data.
Okay.
So maybe I have HR data in my payroll system, in my HR system. Maybe I share it with health insurance. Maybe I have something to manage the incentive, the stocks. Maybe I have a travel system. Okay. So I need to know where is the data about an employee all across my data. So I need to have this inventory of data so that I know which data should I protect.
Okay. So then how does that discovery process occur? Like what do companies need to do? Because you look at the types of data, the amount, the velocity, and the volume of this type, how can I ensure that I've covered everything? Because what like a column of data that I might not necessarily think represents the customer could actually do that. So how?
So currently, most companies do it declaratively. So they work with people that can say, okay, this is
it. Is that okay?
But now, more and more, we see some systems that can capture automatically the footprints.
Okay.
So you can declare, so using Talend, for example, you can use the data dictionary, and you will define the shapes of your personal data. So you will say, okay, account number is a personal data. And it starts with 2 characters and then 4 numbers. And so once you have defined that, you can capture that footprint across the different data sources. So more and more you will see some automatic capturing of data like that, where when there is a data flow, you can raise an alert and say, oh, take care.
So it really, the metadata is becoming even more critical in organizations today than ever before because of these new regulations. So the discovery process plus the capturing and reporting of the metadata is really becoming key in this, especially in this, where the things that you listed and what you're describing now, the ability to find it, label it, say this is what it is, and be able to report back. Even some of that reporting back is new for a lot of organizations today. When I worked in IT, we captured metadata for our own good, not so that we could report necessarily back. And I worked in pharma industries and things like that. So the ability the fact that companies need to report this back to regulatory bodies, that is critical. And to be able to, you need a system and a process in order to capture that. It's no longer doing metadata because you want to, but you're doing metadata because you have to now. So for sure.
And you know that, Mark, because you worked in life science. So
I did.
Industries that were heavily regulated, they know the story since they are using metadata management.
Yes.
But the other industry now
retail,
GDPR,
like
now retail companies and banking.
How's Nike going to handle it?
A shoe company.
Right, but I mean, you brought up a couple pieces. I wanted to dive into 2 subjects. First of all, and you kind of mentioned like the opt-out, right? So how do you as a company ensure that if me as an individual have decided to opt out, they've scrubbed their system completely of anything that might be able to identify me as an individual? So you're dead on the fact that I absolutely need to now know my data, like in, out, backwards, forwards, everything.
And you take Nike as an example. So Nike will have more and more connected wears, and so you might say, okay, I don't want that my shoe knows where it tracks me.
It knows it.
So if somebody else wears my shoes? What if somebody else wears my shoes? They're going to think I'm going to be somewhere where I'm not.
That's identity.
Wait, that's a different subject. Sorry, never mind. My wife's tracking me down by my Nikes. All right.
Amy, I swear, it's with me all the time. No.
So we're definitely broaching on the end of the topic here for this recording today, I think. So how do we want to start wrapping this up, do you think?
Well, I mean, I think generally, so we talked about the first step, but if there was one piece of advice that you could give companies that maybe haven't started this process, because the due date's coming up soon.
And on that topic, not just European companies, but definitely global companies.
Yes.
This affects any company in the U.S. that's dealing globally, any global company that's doing business in Europe, right? So how, to answer your question.
So I think there are 3 major steps. The first one is assess your situation. Like you said, maybe you're an American company, you didn't even know that you should take care of GDPR, but you have European customers or even people connecting to your website or your portal. You need to take care. So that's the first step, assess. Second step is know your data. So metadata management, maybe create a 360-degree view of your employees or customers. And then third step is find the sweet spots where you are weak. And one that we see often is the right of the data subject. So I often tell customer, if I'm your customer, who should I call to be forgotten, or who should I call to get the data you have about
number,
me? So generally, there's no answer on that. They say, we didn't even think about that. We have no responsibility. We don't have a portal where people can access the data. So that's the kind of sweet spot where companies need to act very fast, and especially the ones that are visible to the customer or employee, because obviously on the 25th of May, maybe you as an employee would like to challenge your company and say, oh, please, what is the data you have about me? And it will be difficult for the company to say, I don't know.
Right, yeah. So that's an important point. Is that the date that it goes into effect where they can start enforcing this?
Yeah, so there is no class action on 25th of May.
25th of May of 2017.
Yeah.
So it's coming up quick.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Well, already happened. May 25th, 2017,
Yeah,
right?
221 day today.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
It's in effect.
Yeah. Well, as we've seen. So, I mean, one last question. I know we want to wrap this up, but I think it's a very interesting one to bring up. So, do you feel that this is the end of essentially individuals taking back the data, or is this just the beginning? Right? Has companies essentially failed at being able to provide the value of what they were getting because of this information, and now users want it back, or can we fix this?
It's the very beginning. So often I take the example of my doctor. You know, my doctor, I give him very private information for his insights.
Right. Yeah.
And why I do that? Because of the Hippocratic oath. You know, they sign something. It's from the 4th century, and I trust them not because I like my doctor, but as a professional.
Right.
And so we need this kind of code of conduct, because otherwise, as consumer, we don't trust.
Yeah.
So we would cheat like emails when we give a wrong email.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you don't like your doctor?
Yeah.
Kidding. All kidding aside.
So yeah, that's a big thing.
Right. No, I mean, I think that's the key piece to take away from this is that, hey, if you're going to use this data, you got to make sure that you're responsible as well as then credible in that. So hey, thank you so much for joining the show today. Thank you for bringing the wine.
Yeah.
Even though it's beer,
craft
beer.
Yeah,
and
I
data,
take your beer.
But and the other thing too is just mention that Jean Michel helped craft a white paper on the GDPR steps. So definitely check that out on the Talend website. Great information there for more information on GDPR. But yes, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that you brought wine.
And cheers again.
Cheers.
You can go. You can leave the bar. So catch us on our next episode. We're going to be talking about IoT, smart cities, and working with one of our community members on why it's important to join a community around big data. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.